the people of Ghana, it's your Nigerian girl pleasure.
in Parliament. Mahama Yariga, has been consulted.
Congratulations to Haruna Iddrisu as he has been nominated the head of the Minister of Education in this latest appointment done by President John
members of Parliament. What is left is for the leadership and the entire caucus to equally agree on the rest of the people who would make up the deputy leader, and then also the chief whip, and then the first deputy whip as well as the second. We don't know whether Comfort Kujo Gansa would be maintained, but as we speak, with the exodus or the shake-up, it's very likely, and from all indications, Mahama Yariga very much tipped to be the one to lead the majority or become the leader of government business with the movement of these very, very key individuals who form the leadership of the NDC caucus.
There's one name we may have glossed over, and that's Ama Kofi Boa, who is currently the deputy majority leader as well. You've mentioned the shake-up completely and the fact that there are consultations as to who becomes deputy majority leader. Is that suggestive he's also headed towards a ministerial role, hence his position as well will be vacant?
We cannot confirm that in its entirety, but the indications are that there are a lot of considerations being done by His Excellency the President. He is a former Minister of Energy, a very, very, very astute one of the of course, and also a very competent one from all indications that we get. And until there's a release from the presidency confirming where he will be going next, we cannot say actually where he is going. But the indication is that yes, there will be a shake-up, and already we are beginning to see it. Once these individuals who form the leadership of the NDC majority move, then it means that there has to be a new leadership appointment by the NDC in Parliament. And so we can only wait. They are returning, I think, next week, and when they return, then we'll be able to get a clearer picture on who would be the majority leader, his deputy, the chief whip, and the two deputy whips as well.
Right then, Komla, thank you very much. Komla is our presidential affairs correspondent. Used to wear the hat in Parliament, that's why it's got still got a lot of details in relation to that. But there are other pressing matters currently at the seat of government committee.
This afternoon, crunch meeting is currently underway at the Jubilee House between government and officials of the Ghana Education Service over the food supply crises faced by our public senior high schools, which is yet to commence despite a directive to evacuate food in warehouses, TEMA, to all senior high schools to satisfy the nutritional needs of senior high school students under the free senior high school policy. Feeding for some time now has been a major challenge for authorities, prompting the Conference of Heads of Assisted Secondary Schools to issue an advice to parents to let their children come to school with food like gari, shito, and sugar to supplement daily nutritional needs. Faced with the gravity of the situation, President Mahama directed the Chief of Staff and the Ghana Education Service to help evacuate food stock in our warehouses as temporary measure, pending a lasting solution. We can now take a listen to John Dramani Mahama when he makes this remark sometime last week.
As we speak, we have a challenge currently with feeding students in secondary schools, as the Ghana Education Service insisted that schools must reopen on the 3rd of January, contrary to the advice of the Conference of Heads of Assisted Secondary Schools. As a stopgap measure, I've asked the Chief of Staff to work with the Ghana Education Service to allocate and evacuate food that is currently held in warehouses in Tema, which This food was imported by the outgone government in response to the drought that occurred last year. But in this emergency, we need to use some of that food to feed our students so that education can continue.
John Dramani Mahama is President of the Republic of Ghana. Let's stay on the subject and talk to Dr. Peter Anti. He is the Executive Director of the Institute for Education Studies, IFES. Doc, good afternoon to you. I'm happy to talk to you this afternoon. Doc, let's look at your recent newsletter. IFES noted issues such as food shortages and overdue payments to CHAS should be treated as emergencies. We also know that the president directed that the drought food stock be released to the schools. Obviously, his mind is in the right place, isn't it?
Sure. I've said that it is in the interest of the current administration to treat the challenge at the senior high school as an emergency, and I was very happy to hear that the president is taking steps to ensure that food are made available to the students in the various secondary schools. So that is a step in the right direction, and it's a good start for me.
Doc, why don't you hold the line for me? Let me bring Gabson Kofi Raphael into the conversation. He is the National Secretary of the National Council of the Parents Teachers Association in Ghana. Gabson, again, good afternoon to you as well. Let's talk about the directive the president is given. Your children are in school. Has the directive taken effect yet?
Thank you very much. And then let me take this opportunity once again to commend you all for being up to speed with developments within the educational sector, especially at the secondary school levels. As I speak to you, the directive from His Excellency the President, which is a good omen for we parents, because we are all excited to see that we have a leader who cares and cares much about the happenings within the educational sector, and is taking practical measures to make sure that the challenges and then the issues that relates to crisis with feeding will become a problem that is being looked in the back. As we speak to you, 3 days ago we took seminars that the Ministry of Education, or the GS, the Director General, and then his regional directors have instructed the heads of schools to fill a template, a Google template, to take stock levels in the schools, to let them know exactly what kind of food they can supply. They've also given them further directives to start doing procurement processes to make sure that whatever food they need, they can probably get them. And I'm told that rice and other things are currently, as I said to you, the signals we have taken that today is Thursday, hopefully by close of this week, by weekend, these issues about food situation will probably be the same. And even the signal alone has given the head and the managers of the schools the space, the business space, to be able to reach out to their suppliers probably of the food situation in our schools. So that is the situation as I said to you now.
Is that to say that the directive or the situation at the moment is satisfactory?
Well, it's not satisfactory, but at least it shows that the government has been so concerned, and the government is actually putting the issues in perspective and working towards resolving the crisis of feeding in our schools.
Right. To what extent will these releases mitigate the situation on hand?
As I speak to you, I'm saying that in most of the schools, they're taking stocks, and then they are currently sending food to those schools. In some of the schools, they even call them to come to the various depots.
Right. So Gabson, what I'm asking is, what impact would the directive to release the drought food stock to the schools have?
It's a major relief to making sure that the feeding situation and the feeding in our schools will become a thing of the past. Because these things that is happening has actually lifted some burdens from the parents and lifted some burdens from the heads of from the head teachers, and then those who are seeing to the feeding situation in our schools. Because government directives, if it had come in handy earlier on, this whole discussion would have not been something that would be at the front burner of our within the media landscape and in our various homes. So this directive from government is clear that from all indications, everybody feels that yes, the government is actually not only talking, but is walking the talk, and people are happy.
Please do well to like, comment for
Indeed, Gabson, I'd have us end the